It's the most magical time of the year, and I'm not talking about Christmas. I'm talking about the NFL season. So make sure you're ready with NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV. Get the most live NFL games all in one place. Right now, you can save $85 when you bundle NFL Sunday Ticket with YouTube TV. Sign up today at youtubetv.com/Spotify. Device and content restrictions apply. Discount applied to first 4 months of YouTube TV, then $72.99 a month. Ends August 29th. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. No refunds.
School is back, and Dick's Sporting Goods has what you need to win your year. We've got everything from cleats to sambas, dunks, and more. Plus, the hottest looks from Nike, Jordan, and Adidas. Find your first day fits in-store or online at dicks.com.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Thanks for choosing this free Anfield Index podcast. If you'd prefer to listen to this or any of our other shows without adverts, then now's the time to check out Anfield Index Pro. With AI Pro, you can supercharge your entire listening experience. You'll not only get all of our podcasts without the ads, but you'll have them far faster with our Quick Publish feature available exclusively for subscribers. AI Pro also puts you in the heart of our sound studio, with an option to listen to many of our shows live and interact with the podcasters in real time as the shows are recording. Upgrading couldn't be easier. AI Pro is available on all popular podcast platforms. Just head on over to AnfieldIndexPro.com and get started today.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and welcome to another episode of Media Matters by Anfield Index. Ladies and gents, the Reds are mustered a 2-0 victory over Ipswich. Maybe a tale of two halves. Maybe a lot of things going on before the game as well. So we'll be talking the match. We'll be talking Arne Slot. We'll be talking all the players. We'll be talking Joe Gomez and all the things going on and off the pitch at Liverpool. And here to join me as ever, the renowned and the respected David Lynch. David, pretty happy overall, fair to say, after yesterday?
Yeah, I think at the start of the season, you just say, take any sort of win. But I thought, so many positives from the way that he did win in terms of what it said about the manager and the players. So I think everyone should be in really high spirits and a great start to the new season and a new era under Arne Slot as well.
Yeah, no doubts about it. 2-0, a clean sheet away from home as well, considering we only kept 4 last season. It seems a great way to start. I mean, that game yesterday, I know it's an old cliche, but we are literally talking a tale of two halves there, aren't we?
Yeah, it's funny really because I'd messaged a few friends before the game, one of the WhatsApp groups, and sort of said, actually kind of, quite optimistic about Liverpool coming into this one because even in past seasons under Jurgen, you'd think they do tend to start this season a little slowly and not maybe perform well in the first few games, but generally get the points on the board anyway. And whereas I thought Liverpool had played some really good football over pre-season and looked really sharp, so sort of felt like, actually they're going to come into this one and maybe make a good start. And then I sort of replied to myself at half-time saying, why did I say this? Because it was so poor in the first half, and everything you kind of expected from it in terms of that Ipswich intensity, stopping Liverpool playing, and having a couple of sniffs at goal on the counter, seemed to be kind of coming off. Everything you kind of feared about this, the atmosphere playing a part, and as I say, Ipswich kind of dictating the terms of the game. So it didn't look very good after that opening 45 minutes, but then obviously totally different after half time, just totally changed it, quietened the crowd down, played football in a way that I kind of didn't expect as well, because I thought part of the problem in the first half was how slow the pitch was and the fact it was dry, but they just didn't seem to have any issues in the second half with that. Just seemed to really get used to it, and the football was electric, and saw all the good things that we've seen in pre-season, and literally as dominant a second half performance as you were likely to see. I mean, what the XG number was 2.61 to 0.15 or something ridiculous like that. So, and it could easily, with the chances they had, have been 4 or 5 in the end. So, phenomenal second half performance, and huge credit to the manager for changing what he needed to change, and reminding the players of the responsibilities as well.
Yeah, no doubts about it. It's an interesting line, wasn't it? About there's no point about talking about tactics if you don't win your duels. And like you said, 16 shots during the second half, 6 big chances as well. We were dominant. I mean, there's quite a few contenders for this one. Man of the match for you?
I think Gravenberch, just because I think he was one of the ones in the first half who was actually doing okay at his job. He was breaking up play, he was moving it on. Not always perfectly, but I thought he was quite good in that. I mean, I absolutely expected this, and this will be a theme throughout the season, is that as soon as Liverpool play poorly, everyone starts saying about the number 6. Now, before I have to start this sentence by going, yes, I absolutely agree that Liverpool need to address this. I think we should find players. This is a disclaimer I'm putting in. I obviously think that. I'm not mad. But we shouldn't fall into the trap of every time they're not playing well across the park, start saying, well, the number 6 would fix this. No, and the manager clearly didn't think that, because he went in and told them something different, and they came out and showed that they should have been playing better. And it was nothing to do with the fact that they didn't have this natural Zubamendi type in there or whatever, who by the way, probably would have got run all over yesterday, just purely in a kind of welcome to English football type way. Particularly with how aggressive Ipswich were at the start. But anyway, yeah, so the fact that Gravenberch, I thought, played well in both halves, really, but particularly in the second, had a big hand in the opening goal in terms of that, showing exactly what he can bring to that number 6 role, which is great touch, a little drop of the shoulder to work himself space, and he fires it into Salah back to Trent, got goal from there, brilliant. So I really, really liked it. I just think both sides of the performance, his defensive work, sort of winning about 50% of his duels, he can probably just get a little bit higher than that and be perfect. But then adding in all the attacking stuff, 9 balls into the final third, which is better than anybody else on the pitch except Trent, who also only got 9. So doing everything you want him to do. And because there was so much focus on him, I think it was a particularly pleasing performance. But I also do just think he was amongst the best performers. So, huge credit to him. And it'd be great if he emerged as a really solid option there, because if Liverpool are going to sign a 6, and that is my expectation at the moment, that's certainly what people around the club are saying, then we need him to be good. So, really good start to that.
Yeah, an important disclaimer there. We both want a number 6, and you can only word off what you're told. So it's that. And it's very true. It was interesting because Slot said afterwards, Gravenberch, when he was asked about it, said, yeah, Ryan is by nature attack-minded. So he clearly understands that, as you said, the defensive side, he will have to grow into that. And he used that phrase a few times. It's not his natural game. But on the other side, it'd be easy just to sort of criticise him for what he's maybe not naturally good at. But that step in the 69th minute where he steps and just takes it out and plays that unbelievable pass with Diaz just in between the defenders and he runs onto it. I mean, like it or not, people might have to get used to the fact Ryan Gravenberch might be the starting number 6 by the time this window slams shut. Might not be what everyone wants, but there were positive signs. I think it's a really good start for him, wasn't it?
He's just got a lot of skills that will work in that position in terms of, again, he's probably never going to be a natural, although, there's time to mould him. He's still very young, so we'll see how that kind of plays out. But he's definitely this season not going to be perfect there. But he's just got a lot he can bring to it. Those long legs poking the ball away. There's a couple in the first half where he got really, really harsh fouls, I thought, called against him, where he nicked the ball out really nicely. So you can see that kind of Fabinho-esque build that he's got. Being able to poke the ball out in those sort of long legs. And so he can really sort of do that. And then when he gets the ball, like I say, the ability to drop a shoulder and work a yard, he has got that more than any other midfielder in the squad. He's that ability to sort of just work a man off him and throw him a dummy and all of a sudden he's in space. His first touch is immaculate. His ability to drive into tight spaces and come out of them with the ball. And that pass, as you say, shows that he's got the passing range. And, like I said, 9 passes into the final third from a deeper position. That's exactly what you want from your number 6. So he's got loads of qualities that could make him a really good option there. Whether he turns into an absolute natural there, we'll have to see. And that's going to be a big job for the coach to do. But as I say, a really good start yesterday, and you can only judge him on what we've seen so far, and that was hugely encouraging. So hopefully he can keep building on that and keep getting better and better. And if he does that, then Liverpool have really sort of found themselves a gem. And I've written about Gravenberch as well before this season in terms of not necessarily thinking he was going to be the 6, but just that I can't understand why there was so much harsh criticism of him last season. I think you could see that he's a quality footballer in there. maybe not perfectly suited to Jurgen Klopp football, but so I think we'll see more of him. But even last season, I thought there was loads of encouraging performances in there and great moments from him. So I'm really excited about what he can become. And Liverpool's recruitment staff were absolutely massively high on getting him in. They really, really wanted him because they rate him so incredibly high. So, if he delivers on that potential and that belief that they've got in him, then, he could be talking about a real superstar here. So, fingers crossed this is the start of a great season for him.
Yeah. And then maybe actually he might benefit from having a set position rather than just playing in a number of midfield roles as an alternate. And yeah, it is so important. If he does have one of those games, let's all not jump on his back at the same time as well, because if he is the six, so be it. That's not his fault, whatever you think about it, people. And one player that we have to eulogise about, another game, another opening day, and Mo Salah just tumbles even more record. We should just expect this really now, shouldn't we, in all honesty?
It's a joke, really, isn't it? I mean, I've spent all summer talking about how difficult his contract discussions are going to be because there's those slight signs of decline that were there at the back end of last season, and the fact that he's getting older and obviously what his wages are. And then you see him play football yesterday and you're like, I just give him whatever he wants, to be honest. He needs to stay. He's just in unbelievable shape. He's not quite as quick as he used to be, but it doesn't matter because he's so smart and the way he plays the game, the way he feeds others. And he's just... it's such a pleasure to watch it. A genuine all-time Premier League great, and already start to think I really do hope we saw that contract out for maybe just a couple more years at the very least, because I still think he's got an awful lot more to give. And I think the guarantee, regardless coming into this season, he was going to be Liverpool's top scorer, and he's made a decent start to that. So yeah, he's phenomenal, and I think that kind of says a little bit about him actually, that opening day fixture thing, because it's not just that he's a brilliant player, but he's always absolutely in the best possible shape and ready for the season to start. He doesn't take time off, does he, in over the summer and come back out of shape and not really quite ready for the season. He's always ready, so that's why he always scores at the start, and then he basically continues that for 9 months. So yeah, very much looking forward to watching him again, and let's see what happens with the contract situation.
Indeed, yeah. Robbo talked about it. He seems to come back better every season. 9 goals on the opening day to take a Premier League record. Goal and assist in 32. Only Wayne Rooney is ahead of him. However, Wayne Rooney has about another 160 games on Mo Salah as it stands currently, so we wouldn't expect we fully expect, let's be honest, to see that record tumble. We'll have to see, but yeah, a contract would be nice, wouldn't it, as well? And one player that I don't want to start this harshly because it sounds so unfair. On the surface, Luis Diaz's stats yesterday looked great, didn't he? He was a real danger to Ipswich. He was a really important part of our attack as well. And yeah, I still come back to, as a lot of people do, the miss and the chant, like that type of element. Did we almost see the best and the worst of Luis Diaz there?
Yeah, I think so. It's similar to last season, really, isn't it? In terms of he's so good at getting Liverpool up the pitch. Work rate's fantastic. So he just brings all that. His dribbling is great. He gets himself into great positions, but you just love him to be a little bit more ruthless in and around the box, and it just doesn't quite have that. I mean, that one he put over the bar, just pop that in the net. You don't even have to leather it. Just pop it in the net. So but I think and I did write this in the piece this week. It's kind of, we keep saying that, Darwin Núñez, you can iron out the kinks in his game. Slot can save him. He can make him this or that. Then, if you can do that with Núñez, who is not a kid anymore, by the way. I think is he 25 now? Diaz is only 27. Players can still improve at that age if they can bring a little bit more coolness to him in finishing situations. And if Slot can do it with Núñez, then why not Diaz? So, hopefully we can see a little bit more out of him in this coming season. But I thought, loads of what was good is good about him. We saw, and he was as crucial as anyone really in that attack. So yeah, you just hope that this manager can take a little bit of the chaos out of it, as is the overall aim for how Liverpool play football now, and just calm him down around the box in a similar way that we hope he will with Núñez. And if he can do that, if he can get, he got 8 Premier League goals last season. I mean, if he gets to sort of 13, 14, 15, if you get anywhere near that sort of range, it's a huge impact it'll have on the team. So, you're not talking about finishing off every situation. He's never going to be Mo Salah, but if you can just get a little bump, an extra 5 goals in the league this season, then it'll have a real material impact on where Liverpool finish, I think. So hopefully that's something Slot can work on with him, because of all the good things that are already there and really, really will be useful to this manager.
I don't need a VPN. I've got nothing to hide. Ha. This is what I used to tell myself before I hooked up with LibertyShield.com. Not only is my home internet now fully encrypted, but I can now access all the websites I want, whenever I want, and do so from absolutely anywhere. As a Liverpool fan, I love to know I can now watch every match, regardless of whether it's on UK TV or not. My Liberty Shield VPN makes sure nothing is blocked and guarantees me super fast streaming speed throughout that match. You can get connected right now with their software package, which includes a 48-hour no-obligation free trial and instant access to their apps for Apple, Android, Fire TV, PC, Mac and Android TV. Or go a step further like I have and get one of their pre-configured VPN routers. These small but powerful devices allow you to easily connect every device in your home to VPN, making it the perfect solution for smart TVs, Mac boxes and games consoles. Visit LibertyShield.com today and use coupon code AIVPN25 to get 25% off at checkout.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Honda. When you test drive the all-new Prologue EV, there's a lot that can impress you about it. There's the class-leading passenger space, the clean, thoughtful design, and the intuitive technology. But out of everything, what you'll really love most is that it's a Honda. Visit honda.com/EV to see offers.
Ryan Reynolds here for, I guess, my 100th Mint commercial. No, don't. I mean, honestly, when I started this, I thought I only have to do like 4 of these. I mean, it's unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. How are there still people paying 2 or 3 times that much? I'm sorry, I shouldn't be victim blaming here. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save. Whenever you're ready.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
Because I did want to ask you about the piece, because I know you wrote that obviously the Slot was asked about Diaz, wasn't he? And, was quite, pretty unequivocal, like, no, he's staying here, he's our player. For you, was that, you thought that was like, that's that, or do you think there's still legs in this story? Because these Barca rumours they even accelerated this week, didn't they, at the same time?
Yeah, so usually I kind of wouldn't take the manager's words at face value in situations like this, but it's interesting because I'd spoken to someone at Liverpool sort of in the few days before, really, and they'd sort of said similar to me that be really, really surprised if he left actually now, because it's so late in the window. Big ask for Barca to even get the money together, by the way, as a starting point. But it's that lateness in the window, and whether Liverpool feel they could do a deal that would replace him quickly enough. And, if they could get the right player, would Newcastle be open to letting Anthony Gordon go now? Is that even feasible? Is that one that you just, put on hold till next summer and think about that? So my expectation is, and certainly people I've been speaking to, is that they really don't expect that he will leave now, which is fine. Again, like I said, I think he gets way too much stick for me, Diaz, in terms of for his contributions last season. I think there are, like I say, the finishing, it'd be great if he could be slightly better.
Yeah,
but there's a chance he can be. You maybe even just need to get on a little lucky run really in front of goal, and things change for you in terms of the numbers you can put up across the season. But he does bring an awful lot, so it's not a case that that's a huge position Liverpool absolutely desperately need to upgrade on. In my opinion, I think they can get a little bit more out of Diaz, and what's already there is good. So, I'm kind of looking forward to what he can do this season. As I say, the expectation is that he will stay. So, he's going to play a big role, isn't he? He's probably going to be the starting left winger for the season. So, hopefully a little bit more to come from him. And I don't expect that Barcelona noise is maybe going to even turn into anything now.
Will be interesting to see, because obviously all the noise was about Cody Gakpo, wasn't he, at the Euros, how he was going to be our left winger. But Luis Diaz still has an impact. Will be interesting to see how Slot plays that one. I suppose the only other question, I mean, there were so many good performances. Anyone else really stand out for you yesterday?
I thought Trent's second half was out of this world. At first half, kind of quietly just kept giving the ball away. He's trying these long balls and never seems to sort of get his eye in. And then second half just totally changed. So whether that was the runs were better or he was just playing much better, but he's so influential when he's on it there. And I think that's what's kind of cool about this setup really, is that you end up in a situation where you've got kind of Trent, McAllister and Gravenberch sort of lined up in a three, just ready to with loading the bullets basically. And if you get runners in behind and anyone dares have a high line against you, those three can just pick a ball over the top. And the lads who are running in behind are absolutely brilliant, aren't they? So I really like how that setup is sort of, getting into gear now. And yeah, Trent is a massive part of that. And the ball he plays for the first goal is just incredible, really. So I hope and feel that he's going to have an awful lot of fun in this system and this setup. So yeah, really, really good start to that. He's had no pre-season basically as well. So I'm sure there's even more to come for him.
Yeah, and it's even that cross that he puts in, which Jota should really bury, to be honest, right in the middle of the goal. But yeah, I think Sam Maguire tweeted, we take it for granted almost now, but it is absolutely top level. And it probably feels right for this game to finish on, say, the manager, the head coach, Arne Slot. I mean, let's be honest, he made some big calls before and afterwards. Joe Gomez, which we'll come on to, wasn't in the squad, others left out. Then the starting team's name, Jarell Quansah, comes off at half-time as well. And even the subs that we can talk about as well. A lot didn't get on the pitch, did they? Like Yahabi didn't get on, Curtis, Nunes, people that probably were surprised at quite a few as well. What did you make? And even though I suppose I've got to talk about the comments afterwards as well. Like there's no point in talking about tactics if you're not winning your duels. What did you make about, I suppose, his all-round performance yesterday?
I thought he had a really, really good day, to be honest. I mean, one of the things you are looking at coming into this season and this game specifically was, okay, what is this manager's impact on this team going to be? And can he get anywhere near what Jurgen did in terms of genuine impact on the team and its results and dragging it to a higher level and making it more than the sum of its parts? And I thought in terms of doing that, just phenomenal. I mean, one of your big worries when you get a new manager in, especially one who's never managed in the Premier League before, is that they almost have to learn on the job that there are some challenges in this league that are totally different to elsewhere. Now, it took Jurgen time to learn that. I remember, some of those early games where he'd go to Watford and Liverpool got pumped on the basis that the ball was just going long. And he was like, hang on, are we going to play any football here? And he was like, he had to learn that it was basically, you have to win those physical battles all across the pitch. Then you earn the right to play football. And it's just amazing to me that if a manager like Jurgen, it took him time and the experience of actually going through these horrible games to learn that. And yet Slot has come in and immediately recognised it after 45 minutes and said, no, okay, we're not having this. It's not just a case that he said, okay, we just need Konate on to do that, which was a great sub, an unbelievable sub. The difference between those two is that Quansah is better on the ball, but Konate is absolutely incredible in the air. So he just absolutely identified the problem there and sorted it. But he also said to the rest of his players and made that clear, didn't he, in his post-match interview, that he said, you've got to win your physical battles. You can't come here and think that you can just play your football. Let's win our battles, and then we go from there. And he was, and the players not only was that the right instruction, the right substitution, the right tweak. The players took it on board, executed it, and were infinitely better in that second half. So, I mean, what that says about the respect they have for him, his ability to spot what's happening and make changes in game, his feel for the Premier League already, and the fact it's a physical league and that sort of thing is going to happen frequently. I just think an all-round hugely impressive day from him, and the fact that he's been able to cajole the players out of a really poor first half performance into that second one as well. I just think it's just really exciting actually that he's already got a hold over them and an ability to solve these problems and the knowledge to do it and the sort of respect to the players. So yeah, I think a great day for the manager and yeah, just a perfect start for him really, almost better than going out there and just sweeping them aside, because they had to suffer a little bit and he had to solve problems and the players had to do that and they all did it together. And I think that just bodes incredibly well, I think, for how he's going to adapt to this team and what's going to happen this season.
No doubts. And I was going to ask you, do you get almost a sense of, because we shouldn't always do direct comparisons with Jurgen Klopp, but you get the sense he is more of a quietly ruthless character, I would say, in the way he did things. And even we've talked about like the way players are just left out the squad. No, youngsters, you're back to the 21s. You're not part of my plan. And even yesterday, I mean, we talked in the previous era for so many times. We wanted subs early, or we sometimes left it late. We don't really make too many subs at half time, do we? Did you get a sense that this could be like a real ruthlessness and steel behind Slot?
Well, I think we're already seeing that ruthlessness in terms of, I think we spoke about this before in terms of what's happening in the transfer market at the moment, but it's clearly is going to be part of how he approaches things on the pitch as well. Like you say, that's a tough sub to make, and I doubt Jarell Quansah particularly loved that he did that. But he wanted to win the game, and that's how you do it. And, and he didn't just give token runouts to players at the end. It was kind of, these are the subs that are going to win me the game and see it out. He's all business, really. I get that impression from him, just generally speaking, in terms of how he approaches things. I think, we are going to do this. We're going to compare to Jurgen because it's been such our experience for the last 8.5 years. We've not known anything else. And certainly for me, in terms of my career reporting on Liverpool, it's been, eaten up mostly by Jurgen. So, it's natural to make those comparisons. And I think the comparison that kind of comes to me is that Arne Slot's a little bit more like a slightly, occasionally stern father to Jurgen's fun uncle. They're very different approaches, I think. And, but he's warm and the players seem to like him. He's not, got completely no fun side whatsoever, but very much about, being on business and being serious. And this is how we approach our work. And, I always say in any comparison we make at this point, if you sound like I'm being favourable to Slot and critical of Jurgen, the fact is if he can get anywhere near Jurgen's results, he'll have had an incredible Liverpool career. So, he's still got to match all that, and he's a million miles away from doing it. So I'm not, putting Jurgen down by any respects, but it's just something we're noticing is slightly different about them. And I mean, that might not always be a good thing. Maybe that being, that avuncular like Klopp is the thing that got Liverpool where they did and why they won so many trophies and why the players will run through brick walls. Maybe we'll feel that element is missing as we go forward, but maybe not, because it looks really good at the moment. It's been, as I say, a good start there against Ipswich, and let's see how that kind of plays out and affects the season and affects the players and the relationships there.
Will be interesting. Yeah, like you said, history is written by the victors, isn't it? So as long as we're winning and it's doing well, it will be portrayed that way. As soon as there's a bumpy patch or anything, we know how the story will be spun at the same time. But yesterday, you've got to give Arne Slot kudos for what he did. Yeah, great day. 2-0. We were top of the table for a while, but 100% all you can ask for. And I suppose linking it to off the field news, the day almost started before, didn't it? Because everyone was waiting for the squad news, which now comes out an hour and 15 before kickoff, and some noticeable absentees, no more so than Joe Gomez. So I think many people would have thought, well, probably he'll be on the bench at least because he can cover so many roles and that flexibility, but he wasn't. Then obviously the story comes out that he's, allowed to talk with other clubs. Liverpool are not forcing him out. It seems a very almost mature setup from everyone, realistically, in the way this is approaching. I mean, we've talked about this on the pod before. I know you said it as well a good few weeks about that you wouldn't sort of close the book on this Gomez chapter. It now looks like the book is open and about to be written by someone, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, that's it. The reason I didn't think it was closed, that situation, is because I think everyone's position was quite clear at that point, which was that Joe Gomez had been open to the move to Newcastle. Liverpool had been open to letting him go. He was still in a situation now coming into the season where he's fourth choice centre-back, no question about that. And we know that for a fact on yesterday on the basis that, Quansah, Canate, Van Dijk were all used in that game, and Joe Gomez not even in the squad. He's third choice right back, absolutely, behind Conor Bradley, because why wouldn't you use a talent like that? I think he's third choice left back. There's a judgment call there around quality with Tsimikas, but I think ultimately, Kostas is left-footed and brings you balance on that side, which even if you don't think he's the best, you don't really want long-term a right-footed left-back there. So, you'd knock Gomez down on that side to third choice as well. So, if you're in that situation, you are waiting for an injury crisis to get any minutes. And I think at this stage of his career, been at Liverpool such a long time, he's won everything. It's a good time for him to move on. it's not a case, as you say, of Liverpool kicking him out the door or wanting rid, because he's great character, great player, so versatile, really loved around the place. But it's just probably best for everyone if he moves on. It opens up a space in the squad for Liverpool to do something as well, which I know people love tweeting me and crying and suggesting that they'll sell him and won't do anything, but I absolutely expect that they will sign someone if they do let him go. I think it's just reached a situation where it's clear that it would be best for him to move on, and that's best for his career and better Liverpool as well in terms of what it allows them to do. So yeah, we did expect that this would happen, and that we would see this come back around and we're now at the point in the window where it's starting to move. And I'd expect him to secure a move because he is a great character. He's a brilliant player, play a million different positions, including holding midfield apparently, as he did last season so well. I really do hope he gets that move. That's a good move for him, because he's a really talented player and a great lad as well.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Reporting live from under my blanket, I'm Susan Curtis with Dunkin' at Home. Breaking news, pumpkin spice iced and hot coffees are back. I'll pass it to Mr. Curtis with his blanket for the full story.
That is so right, Susan. You know, it's never too early to get in a spicy mood. I'm talking cinnamony goodness that's so tasty, people don't want to leave their blankets either. Back to you.
No, back to you.
All you.
The home with Dunkin' Pumpkin Spice is where you want to be.
This episode is brought to you by Experian. Are you paying for subscriptions you don't use but can't find the time or energy to cancel them? Experian could cancel unwanted subscriptions for you, saving you an average of $270 per year and plenty of time. Download the Experian app. Results will vary. Not all subscriptions are eligible. Savings are not guaranteed. Paid membership with connected payment account required.
Make this new school year an opportunity for your kids to learn important life skills with Greenlight. Greenlight is a debit card and money app for families where kids learn how to save, invest, and spend wisely, while parents keep an eye on kids' money habits. Greenlight also helps families get into their fall routine with a chores feature that lets parents assign chores and pay kids allowance when they check them off. Get your first month free at greenlight.com/Spotify. Greenlight.com/Spotify.
At BlueNile.com, you can find endless ways to make your moments sparkle. From classic and timeless jewelry gifts to creating the custom engagement ring of her dreams, all at prices you won't find at a traditional jeweler. And right now, you can save up to 40% on fine jewelry and 25% on engagement ring settings during the Blue Nile Anniversary Sale, going on now. Go to BlueNile.com to shop the Blue Nile Anniversary Sale and save up to 40%. That's BlueNile.com.
I think it probably says it all, the clubs who are now being linked with them. And you can reel them off, can't you? Like Fulham, Newcastle, Villa, Chelsea. I'm reading it. Even Bayern Munich mentioned as an option. I suppose, because we're all hoping naturally, if he goes, someone comes in, naturally that will be something. Would you like to see them do it in a creative way? What I mean by that is use him in some way as part of a deal. I mean, it probably wouldn't surprise too many people. Not that it'll necessarily happen, but if Newcastle revisited that, you know where I'd come to with that, or other clubs have probably got players. Do you think Liverpool would get into that nature of tactic? Because it never seemed to. It's always about just get the top money and then move for our target.
Might be kind of an interesting one with Newcastle and Anthony Gordon in terms of, you know, they're having real trouble, aren't they, getting Mark Gay over the line? You know, surely Joe Gomez, similar level of quality, I would say. You know, he's been brilliant for Liverpool and can play more positions. He's English, so in terms of what that does for your homegrown and how you register your squad, it's really helpful. And he basically had that outline of that deal done. And, you know, is that something that could be revisited? It'd be really interesting to see if it is. I mean, outside of that, in terms of whether they don't need to get creative with other clubs in terms of, you know, signing players. I mean, Liverpool have got, they haven't spent any money yet, so they've got a pot there. They don't really have to get creative by any means, but I think that Newcastle one's an interesting one. I've always kind of thought about Anthony Gordon in terms of, is it a bit of an issue if you sign him in terms of he's clearly that left-sided player and Liverpool is so well stocked there? But maybe you think they could do something down the route of using him down the right wing. I'm not so sure. Maybe we'll see. I've always been kind of sceptical about that one, really. But we'll see what happens with and whether Joe Gomez can be used in that way. But there's, as I say, absolutely no need for them to do that because the money's there for signings, even if they haven't actually used it yet.
Yeah, and to be fair, the amount of clubs that are being linked, not that Liverpool are going to enforce anything really hard line, but you expect they get their asking price, no doubts about that at the same time. So yeah, we'll maybe wait for news on that this week, hopefully, because we're only a couple of weeks left of the window. And I know you've written one recently as well about another youngster, Harvey Blair, now as well. It's a lot of, I don't know, a lot of people seem to be making a lot of this, but putting Harvey Blair now in this Bobby Clark, Ben Doak camp, all the youngsters on sort of an exodus, as I'm sure you've seen. It's not really that bad, is it? We've talked before that Liverpool's attack for a youngster is probably the hardest position of any to break into, full stop, just because of the quality there. And actually, could it just be that there's some talented youngsters at the academy, but they're not all going to make it into Liverpool's first team, are they?
That's it, really. I mean, I'm seeing kind of people flipping the lids about this a little bit, and I just don't, where does Bobby Clark get his minutes this season? He just doesn't at Liverpool, and I guess, you can protect yourself in giving a loan, but I think the thing is with Clark is, I don't think he's going to make a huge physical jump in the next 12 months that would put him in contention for Liverpool's midfield. So, you're doing a loan and then another loan maybe after that to see if he does quite get there, and, it's probably not fair on the players to do that. Ben Doak, again, he's still only 18, so again, you could maybe have a look at a loan there. But if a decent permanent move comes in for him, what are you holding on to him for? I think we can already see, really, 18's not old. And I'm not saying that you have to be at your absolute top level at 18 to make it at Liverpool's level. But
Hey guys, it's Eddie Gibbs from Anfield Index here. I hope you're enjoying this podcast, and I'm sorry to call time on the show before it ends. In the current climate, it's tougher than ever before to offer podcasts for free. At Anfield Index, we produce over 75 free shows every month, which I'm confident is unparalleled in the LFC sphere. Whilst we'd love to offer everything for free, the production costs now make this impossible. That said, we don't want to follow the model of other channels and lock all of our content behind a paywall. So what we've decided to do is to continue offering every show for free, but cut that offering to 30 minutes on our longer shows. So to get all of our shows in full and enjoy the best of everything we have to offer, we really hope you'll consider supporting the channel and signing up at AnfieldIndexPro.com. For about the price of 1 cup of coffee, you'll get every podcast in full with 0 ads. You'll also get access to our LFC VIP community, where you can enjoy live podcasts, engage with our podcasters, and chat with other Reds in real time. So that website again, AnfieldIndexPro.com. Join today.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.